Was he
Also,
told? Was David Grush when you reached out to him? Did you tell him that the documents were FOIA? Like, where did this medical records thing come from? I know you said Ross Coulthard called you, but like, did he just make that up? Like, where did that stem from?
well, I can only speculate as to how it came up. In my request for comment, I think I just described it as law enforcement. I can't remember how I described it, but it's not like I was trying to hide it. And then when Ross called me, I tried to explain to him. I was like, "What? These aren't private. This is like totally public." But he was kind of like, it sounded like he was in a hurry or something. He was like, "Okay, okay, understood." And then he just hung up, and that was that. And so I thought that from my saying that these are public, he'd understand that this is like open record stuff. But apparently, he didn't. And to his credit, he did correct it when it became clear that it wasn't that. But that was the only contact I had with anybody on like Grush's behalf, other than just sending my request for comment to his attorney.
Were you? Do you
Um,
have thoughts on them creating this story on News Nation? I mean, what? How did you react?
well, I don't want to stoop. I don't want to stoop to their level and just guess and say, here's what I think. I mean, I think you can look at it and probably come up with an informed speculation about like why they did what they did. But the reality is, I don't know. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. Give a telephone. I mean, just to be straight with you, like I think the same way that you look at something and think, "Huh, that's weird. How did he find out about this very specific thing in my past?" Oh, and he's a national security reporter. He has intel sources. It must have been them. That seems like the same process. You look at some Chinese drone that you don't recognize and say, "Oh, it must be aliens because I've never seen this before." It's just this looseness of thought where you can jump from one thing to another without necessarily rigorously. I mean, that's my read of it. That's my guess. But yeah, again, I don't want to do what they did and just go around asserting things that I have no idea what happened.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to answer at least my questions. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Is there anything you want to add? I mean, everybody's got their hand up. I'm sure everybody wants to ask you a question. I will apologize in advance if anybody comes off a little bit aggressive.